Alright, so I want to do a relatively quick video about how I'm going to manage a low spend EDC year. So this year, with the economy, with job security being at a questionable point for a lot of us, we've decided as a family, or I'm not even sure if we did it for a real decision or if it was just subconscious, to kind of take a step back and not do as much shopping, not stop at Costco as often, even though it's on the way home. We still use Costco a ton for grocery shopping and for sales and whatnot. Also, cheap EDC gear. I got a SOG range backpack for $19.97 on sale. Deals are definitely to be had out there. But what I've been learning over the last 30 plus years is to delay the instant gratification. So, how that kind of started for me way back when in my teens, I worked, all pretty much since I was probably too young to work. Worked a little bit in family business, worked fast food, worked in a factory, and kind of led to just now work testing products, and that's my life. So, but what I did do is anytime I got a check, it pretty much was gone. The saving grace for me is, well, it was money in, money out. I never got myself into credit card debt, thank goodness, but it was definitely money in, money out. And back then it was a lot of RC car stuff, not so much fishing, but a ton of RC car stuff, a ton, lots of backpacks and fanny packs. Never thought of wearing them as a crossbody bag or or heck, I hardly ever wore them as a fanny pack. What I did was, this was back in the 80s, I would cut the straps off the fanny packs and then use them to store stuff in them, different items, and then pack the fanny packs as best as possible in the messenger bag or the backpacks. And I had to say, way back when, messenger bags were my favorite. JanSport was my favorite brand, minus those that know will know, the JanSport Funk. That after X amount of years, JanSport bags would just get this awful funk smell to them, and had one messenger bag in particular, loved the bag. I finally gave up trying to get the funk out of it. I literally just about dumped a whole bottle of laundry detergent on it. Not a huge Costco bottle, but it was a smaller bottle, and just soaked it, did everything I could, and that thing still stunk. Or at least to me stunk. I did not like that smell that just the JanSport bags picked up for whatever reason with the material. But definitely moved on to better stuff. But yeah, in that though, I made tons of mistakes trying to learn. We had our daughter when I was 23, wife was younger. So we kind of I definitely had to grow up fast. Wife did a great job teaching me how to be thrifty. Heck, we did a business trip out to Myrtle Beach for a week, or for Saturday to Thursday, and we hit a Food Lion and spent under $70 on groceries, and that was our food for the week, or for the 5-6 days, whatever we were there, and we managed just fine on that. Wasn't the greatest selection of food, but we had the right types of food, and it got us through. But so how I've kind of learned over the years, a lot of trial and error, and these things really taught me the ultimate lesson. I would get gift cards for Christmas. I would make a lot of impulse purchases, and I'd end up with, half of my order I would probably not use half the baits through, with looking 3 years after I got them, half of them would still be unused. I mean, even maybe 3/4 of them would still be unused. So at some point, I got smart. Didn't tell the wife I was doing this, but I put together a document that had all the baits I bought. Luckily or unluckily, Tackle Warehouse had a history, so I had all the orders I had. I put them in a document, and I went through and made sure that I used every single item at some point to just try it, and I learned a lot. I learned I made some really good choices, and I learned that I made probably more poor choices than good choices. A lot of those baits were gifted to either other anglers or on the water, especially kids, or donated to St. Benny's or Goodwill. Still working on that, still trying to cut some loose, but after that I started making a list. So after a fishing trip, whatever, pretty much after Christmas, I would start making a list of stuff I wanted or needed. Needed is the key term I needed to figure out, and I started making smarter purchases, and I started buying stuff that I needed. I still buy on the stuff I needed or used the most, sure, but it got down to I was buying stuff I was going to use. If there was a super good sale, it's still the Costco. Costco's taught us anything, buy in bulk. Stuff like soft plastics, which you use and you burn up eventually. If you can get them super cheap, which I got some really good baits super cheap, I'm set for mostly life, but it's all good because they will be used. And I stopped pretty much. Now the baits that I buy, I'm pretty much 90% of them are keepers. There's stuff I buy to try because it's new out there and I want to try new techniques. Perfect. Some of that stuff's not going to work or not going to work for me, and that's okay. But at least I tried it. And that rolls into EDC. I got into EDC probably 2 years ago now. I saw my first pouch video and was like, oh wow, this stuff's awesome. And definitely, kind of jumped in a little bit, but I still tried to stick to keeping a list. But my first few pouches, I definitely don't use them anymore as like an LCR expedition style. It worked really well for the time I used it, but now I found a lot of different pouches that I like better, and I now know what I like. Those early pouches definitely served a purpose and taught me a lot. Even some of the tools and some of the gadgets I'm buying, I'm learning, all right, that's kind of useless. Pry bars, I still don't understand the use of I understand the use of a pry bar working around home, doing housework when I was building my downstairs room here. Yeah, I totally get the use of a pry bar for that, but use of a pry bar in everyday carry kit, I can use it to open up the soda can, but I don't really need to, so I'm not really, that's the one item that just, it boggles my mind, and I'd love to see how people use them, because I don't use them. But other than that, most of my purchases have been on point. But I will admit, this document here comes in super handy when I'm watching some of my favorite knife channels, because I always love pocket knives and getting back into it. And I probably would have been kicked out of the house because I would have been running to Amazon wanting to order, seeing that next great new knife, and just wasting money on it. So that's where this list really gives me a cool off period. And on a low spend year, you really need that cool off period, because the money you do spend, you want to make it count. like I said in one of the videos, with the tariffs coming in, or the tariffs we thought were going to get really bad and hit soon, and prices on knives in particular were going to go up. I bought a Civivi Elementum slip joint. I did get to handle it. It's in the gift box or a gift cabinet, but I did get to handle it just to make sure that, you know, it didn't have to be returned or anything. It was a really slick knife. Really glad I got it, and got, you know, like another Viper Aid pouch, a small one. I think it's the VE24. It's a super small pouch, and then a couple of clips for Swiss Army knives, so that they can go in the pocket, and you don't have to reach around under a cell phone in your pocket to get at the Swiss Army knife. You can just pull it out on the clip. But, you know, that was my only purchase pre-tariffs, and now they've been relaxed. So it's kind of a waiting game to see what happens there. And, you know, with all the economy stuff, it's just, I think, a good time to lay low a little bit. But I do want to show this document, and I hope maybe, you know, if listening to this, there's no judgment. If you guys watch some of the knife channels or some of the EDC channels and you go out and buy stuff right away, I get it. It's cool, and you're gonna get a lot of stuff that you really like. My problem over the years is I found that I also got a lot of stuff that I had buyer's remorse on, and I had it. It's not on this document, it's on this one right here, that new, oh, there's been a couple of fixed blades I've seen this year that have come out that are really awesome, and I'm like, oh, I want that fixed blade. And yeah, there's just a ton of them. There's, of course, I'm glad I didn't catch it on when it was actually available. It's because it just cracks me up. It's the Kuhnwau Stiffy P or whatever, and the name just cracks me up. I'm a child, I get it, but the name just cracks me up. But the new Civivi Sorin, looks like, yeah, whatever that new Civivi is with the really strange handle, really looks like a cool knife. And we'll see, if it's still available come around Christmas time, but if that gets pushed off to the side. But yeah, I watch too many knife channels, and after every one I'm like, ooh, I gotta have that knife, I gotta have that knife. It's funny, the one knife I bought, the Towser K, which I absolutely love because I wanted that, it's not really a sheep's foot, it's just a different blade style. I hadn't seen any videos. I saw it was on sale for $50, 154 cm, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get this. And I took a look and just went to YouTube, because it's watch one review, and then ordered it, and I actually am in love with that knife. It's just awesome. So sometimes you can get lucky, and an impulse buy does work out. But yeah, so hopefully, you know, my best advice, if you do want to do like a low spend year, or at least on EDC or just in general, you know, just be very thoughtful in your purchases. Try to, you know, even go into a store. I don't carry this list in my store, but now when I go into Walmart, I know what I want for fishing. I'm on a swim bait kick, and I'm trying to learn swim baits. So mostly the soft plastic variety, and I have a list of the ones I want. So generally now when I go, I've got enough crankbaits, enough other plastics. I pretty much go and look at just the swim baits. Do they have anything different, anything new, something I don't have, something I want to try? And then that's where it's in my head. I know what's on my list. Do I pick it up to try it? And it keeps me from looking at, ooh, there's a nice new color of red eye shad that I have 15 other half-ounce red eye shads. Do I really need a 16th that's that color, a new color? No, I don't. Because I have a certain few colors that work really well, and I know better. where in the past I would buy pretty much every color, because color does matter, but not that much. So I've really learned to be more just thoughtful in my purchases, and kind of, even when I got something in my hand now, a lot of times I'll put it back because I really think it through, and it does take the fun out of it a little bit, but it also leaves less clutter laying around because I'm not buying stuff I'm never going to use. And that's important too, because that's just wasted money. And being in my 50s now, I want to retire, so not wasting money, with the economy and just wanting to retire, it's probably a good idea too. So yeah, hopefully some of these ideas, or the one main idea, could work for you, but I'll do a quick, just little overview on the flyover on the Christmas list. And if you're still with me, there we go. Lots of knives. Something like this looks really cool. It's a knife, build your own knife kit. That's even that W4. That does look really cool. I like that style of wrench. And then here's some fishing stuff. And then it's a super wish, but used to have one of those Turbo Optima chain drive cars way back in the day. Actually, I used to race that a lot in competition. But yeah, that chain drive Turbo Optima is my favorite four-wheel drive car. Oops. Focus going a little wonky, but yeah, I would love to have one just on the shelf just for memory's sake, but for $400, that's too much for a memory. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and take care.